Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, is she taking it slow or stringing me along? Well, this particular email is about heating up leftovers. The guy that wrote this email, this particular woman that he's writing in about, he had a relationship with her that lasted 4 years. She ended up dumping him. This was about 6 years ago. They went their separate ways, and then she got into a relationship with somebody else that lasted for about 3 years. And then when she broke up with that guy, she got back in touch with him. Same thing happened all over again. He started hanging out, having fun, and hooking up. And then he chased her out of his life once again. Then she disappeared. Now, years later, she's back. And the problem is that he's been hanging out, having fun, but no hooking up has been happening. And you can tell he's going right back to the same thing. And so, but the good news is he has come across my work. He says he's read 3% Man 3 times. But this email is great. It illustrates the problem of when somebody pushes you away and you keep pursuing and pursuing, and they just eventually leave and ghost you and you're out of their lives. When they do come back, you don't start pursuing them again. And so this guy, I don't know if he's read 7 Principles Get an X Back, the article and video I did on this topic, but a lot of guys that even that do come across my work and do understand that, the woman starts coming back and then they go right back to, I got to reach out at least once a week, and they start pursuing again. And the whole philosophy is, hey, she unilaterally changed the terms of your relationship. She ended it. She pushed you away. You never try to keep somebody that doesn't want to keep you. And if somebody doesn't want to keep you and then they later come back and want another shot, they got to earn another chance with you, not the other way around. And if they're trying to earn another chance with you, you don't start pursuing them. Because as soon as you start pursuing them, they start backing off. And I mean, this has happened 3 times, and it started happening again, but then the guy recognized that he was pushing her away. The problem is that he's not getting any romance. So let's go through his email. He says, "Hi, Corey. First off, thanks for everything you do. I bought your book a couple of weeks ago, and I'm on my 3rd reading, and I watch several of your videos a day. Great stuff. I wish I would have found your work years ago, but here we are. Here we are. And you're still making the same mistakes, but you're new to the work. The pattern is you got to see is that you keep going back and behaving the same way that got you rejected the last time around. Instead of having the attitude of, why should I even give this girl another chance? We've been through this twice already." He says, "I've been seeing an ex that is fresh out of a relationship and would love some advice, please. We dated for 4 years and lived together. About 6 years ago, she ended the relationship. And since she ended it, because women break up with the guys about 75% of the time, it's up to her to fix it. She pushed you away, therefore she's got to pull you back in and convince you of why she's changed and things are going to be different this time around and why you should give her another chance." Complete opposite mindset of what this particular guy has been employing. "I realize now that I was coasting on what I had done to make her fall in love with me and didn't keep up the courtship. So, like a lot of guys, he stopped dating and courting her once he got into a relationship and they were living together. About 3 years ago, we started hooking up again for a few months, but in hindsight, I pushed things toward a relationship too soon and drove her away." So he was trying to lock her down to a commitment. This is the woman that broke it off with him. They were living together. And then he goes right back to trying to lock her down and possess her, because that's what you see in the movies and the TV shows. That's what you're supposed to do as a man, according to modern media and television. But if you go back 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago, it's the opposite. The women were always trying to lock down the best, most eligible bachelors and win the guy over. And the guys were usually reluctantly, eventually agreeing to get married. But the point being is that the women were convincing the men why they should settle down. And so what you see now is a complete role reversal. She ended up with someone else. Fast forward a few months ago, and guess who I hear from? I wonder who that could be. Her relationship had ended, and she reached out to me and suggested that we catch up. After several more dates, I started getting anxious for a relationship and felt her pull back slightly. So therefore, he went right back to the same behavior that got him rejected the previous 2 times. Over pursuing, acting like a woman. He says, luckily, I realized what I was doing before I did anything too stupid and mirrored her actions. I let her initiate 90% of the contact and use that as an opportunity to set the next date. Well, if you were following what 7 Principles Get an X Back, the article and video, you would know that she should be doing 100% of it. She's supposed to be trying to get another chance with you, but you're still in the mindset of you got to convince her to stick around this time. And therefore, you're still pursuing. You don't pursue somebody that rejects you and blows you off and disappears and goes off and has a relationship with somebody else. That person should be trying to convince you why they deserve another chance. And when you behave this way, you're telling her that no consequences for jerking you around and blowing you off and choosing somebody else. He says, thankfully, I find your content right around then, which I think saved me from doing any major damage. He said, we've been hanging out about once a week for the past few months, but things haven't progressed beyond that. She initiates contact 90% of the time. Again, this is why you don't pursue somebody that rejects you, but he's not getting the message because he's obsessed with locking her down. He's obsessed with acting like a woman. The sexual polarity is totally reversed, dude. She's always enthusiastic about hanging out. We haven't had sex yet. This is why you don't pursue somebody that dumps you. You end up becoming the emotional tampon because you don't have the balls to stand up to her and walk away and never look back. But we do other things. We make out, we do oral, etc. She's still a little fucked up emotionally from her last relationship ending and some other things going on in her life, so I haven't pushed. When she asked what I thought of us hanging out again, I told her that I want to continue to have fun and let things develop naturally between us, and I'm not interested in being in a relationship if she's not 100% ready to be in one with me. Again, he's focused on a relationship. He's focused on locking her down. He's focused on acting like a woman. Even though he's read 3% Man 3 times, as he claims, he's doing the opposite of what it teaches. You don't initiate any contact. You don't chase and you don't pursue, especially a woman that's no longer giving. You live with her for 4 fucking years, dude. Seriously, 4 years. And yet you're hanging out with her for multi-months with no access to the promised land. No access to her secret worlds anymore. She told me that she's had advances from the male orbiters in her social circle. Don't worry, I played it cool. So I know she has other options, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's out on dates with other guys. That also might be why she's not sleeping with you, because she's actually sleeping with somebody else. And you are her emotional tampon, her gay male girlfriend, the guy that she knows how to manipulate you, and you just fall for it every time. My question is, do you think it's taking her longer to warm up due to her raw post-breakup emotions? Or is she keeping me around for comfort and validation while she looks for someone new? Well, you're a known quantity to her, and she knows that you'll behave like a good little boy waiting for your turn, instead of a man who's a catch who loves and values himself. And at the end of the day, you don't chase and pursue somebody that is not sleeping with you, who you had all this history with. It's absurd. I mean, you gotta have some self-respect, dude. So what I would do if I were in your position, stop asking her out. And as 7 Principles Get an X Back, you don't date her, you don't take her out on dates, you don't pick her up, you don't go to lunch dates, you don't meet her for coffee, you don't do any of that. She has to earn another chance with you. And so the only distance that you're going to be willing to travel to see her is the distance to to go from wherever you are in your house to your front door to let her in when she comes over to make dinner in the evening together. But at this point, when she reaches out, I talk to her for a little bit. Hey, it's great hearing from you. I got to run. Talk to you later. Same thing with the text exchange. Send a few replies back and forth. You go, hey, got to run. Talk to you later. Never bring up getting together again, because all you're doing is getting blue balls. And she obviously knows that you'll put up with it until she finds somebody else, and then she'll just blow you off again. You're like your little plaything, and you're just happy and eager to do that and play that role. It's emasculating, and it's demeaning. And quite frankly, it's pathetic. After all this time you got with her, you're still chasing this girl, even though you got blue balls. It's like, come on, dude, have some self-respect. So I wouldn't bring up getting together unless she brings it up. And if she does, invite her over to make dinner at your place. And set it like a week in advance. Don't be in such a rush to get together with her. But unless she brings up getting together, I wouldn't ask her out on any more dates. And you got to actually follow what I teach, because you really haven't modified your behavior in any way, shape, or form. You may not be pursuing as much as you were before, but at the end of the day, your mindset is completely the opposite of what it needs to be. You're thinking, how can I lock her down and possess her, which has always been your problem. Trying to lock this girl down, who quite frankly, based on her behavior, I'm sure you're going to see in the comments, people are like, dude, this girl belongs to the streets. She's just using you because you're too soft. She likes you because you're a nice guy, but you put up with this crap. I plan to play it cool and indifferent either way and keep other options open, but I'm curious if you think her not progressing things between us is worthy of concern. Yeah, you're acting like a bitch, dude. Or just a natural effect of her emotional state, or even possibly just a test to see if I get needy or try to push. Well, you are pushing. You're pursuing 10% of the time. You should be pursuing 0. The last thing you should be excited about doing is getting involved with his ex. I mean, this is the 3rd time, and now she's no longer giving it up to you. What does that tell you? It tells you she ain't feeling it. And probably because she's sleeping with somebody else, and it ain't you. It feels like there are a lot of variables here, and I'm not sure I'm navigating them properly. Well, you definitely are not. And I pointed that out. You should be following what's in 7 Principles, Get an X Back. You don't go out on dates. You don't be Mr. Knight in shining armor or any of that garbage. You're willing to hear her out. You're willing to entertain her if she wants to come over and make dinner together with you. But other than that, no, you don't go pick her up or meet her out. The only way you'll start doing those things is if she comes over 3 dates in a row and you hang out, have fun, and hook up all 3 dates. But she's got to do 100% of the pursuing. She should be earning another chance with you, not the other way around. And you're still, after all this time, still begging for her attention and validation. And I'm sure you're going to get quite a roasting in the comments. So let the sting happen, and hopefully you'll take some corrective action, because this is the 3rd time you've tried the same failed approach. You're not doing it as much as you once were, but at least the first 2 times you were getting laid. And now you're getting nothing. You're just her emotional tampon. You're the backup plan that she knows she's always got. You're the ace in the hole, the guy that'll always be there. But because she doesn't respect you and you're not stimulating her emotionally, she's not wanting to sleep with you. That's what I would do if I were you, my man, because you're not getting anywhere by your approach. But it's your life. You do as you choose. But the reality is, I mean, it didn't work the first 2 times. Why do you think it's going to work the next time? So if you got a question or a challenge and you would like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.